টুইটারটা খুলে রাখবো। হ্যাঁ, okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Diploy, and I'm a cybersecurity analyst at ICSS. And I have done many projects in web application pen testing and network pen testing. So, also I am a CH certified. So, today my topic is network forensics and investigation network attacks. So, first, what we need to know that what is network forensics, right? So, like in today's scenario, we know that in our network there is so many attacks are happening in today's world scenario, like the man in the middle attack, and like every network tampering attacks, right? So this presentation explores network forensics and it cover definition, scope, and importance. That we will examine the role of investigator furthermore, and we will look at the process of investigation network attacks. So today we will learn how can we identify, like how can we capture a data packet so that we can identify our anomalies in our network, right? So we will learn how to use Wireshark and also we will learn how to check our logs also. So next is network forensic process. So first is data acquisition. It is the first and uh, more crucial part of our network forensics. So suppose if any crimes happens and if the forensic team goes there and first thing he or she need to do is data acquisition. He need to acquire all the data and he need to mirror the data. Like like suppose if any crime scene happens, he needs to go to the crime scene and he need to suppose there is a computer. Okay, it is a digital. You can say that digital forensics we need to do here. So what you need to do? We need to uh, acquire that is hard disk and or it can be a sorry, SSD. So we need to acquire this and we need to mirror this hard disk or SSD so that the main proof so that we can manage the integrity of the main proof, right? So also like in the data acquisition part, we need to identify the source like logs. We need to acquire the logs files so that we can trace back the hacker, and we need to acquire the data packets if there is any uh, data like packet capturing happening. So we need to extract the packet also and the devices. And second chance is chain of custody. So what is chain of custody? So in the forensics, this is the most crucial part also. That is chain of custody. So in the chain of custody, that is a process. Okay. So suppose if a cyber crime happens, so we need to maintain a process. Okay. So that we can maintain the integrity and authenticity of our proofs. Okay. So that we can represent this, we can represent the proofs to the court. So that is why we need to maintain the integrity and authenticity. So how can we maintain the integrity and authenticity? So in the chain of custody process, actually, like suppose a forensic team goes the crime scene and he acquired the all the proofs, okay, like the hard disks and SSD. First, he don't change anything like or he don't edit anything from the SSD or hard disks. Okay, so what he do first, he will mirror these hard disks and SSD to another hard disk and SSD. Like he mirror all the datas which uh, which in the hard disk he will mirror all the data to a new hard disk and SSD, and those datas like then he can check the data. Okay? So the main hard disk and SSD, all digital proofs will be as like the as which he recovers or which he acquires, right? So that is why this chain of custody we need to maintain the process so that we can maintain the integrity of our data. Also, whenever when a digital forensic team acquired the data, he will also he need to tag this. Okay, so in the tag he need to mention their name and the date, also the proof quantity, and so that whenever it reaches the court, it will like they also check it for the like for the integrity purpose that it got changed or not. So that is why this chain of custody, it is known as forensic, like it is known as COC also. So this chain of custody is the process we need to maintain, so that we can maintain our proofs, integrity and the authenticity. So now, planning and preparation are key. Defines objective, gather information, crucial methods including port mirroring, network taps, and full packet capture. So it is also comes under network forensics part, that we will actually gather as much as information about the network, like the subnets, uh, and the ports, all the network information like that, all the VLANs. We need to gather as much as information about the network. And the crucial method, including port mirroring. So it is also a crucial method. Using port mirroring technique, we can gather as much as information about our network also. And the network taps and full packet capture. This is the basics one. So we guys, like, we all know that what is call tapping. So in the call tapping, we actually intercept the calls, and we actually, like, you can say the sniff, or we can sniff the calling, like, which actually, like, suppose there is two guys is calling each other, so we can hear what about they are saying in the call, using call tapping, right? In the network tapping, this is the same way, like that. So in the network tapping, what actually happens there, so suppose in the network, actually, suppose there is two node, first is node A and second is node B, and if they are communicating with each other, actually they send a data package to A, and B send data packet to A, like that. So in network, we communicating with each other with data packets, right? So by network taps, we can intercept these data packets, and we can able to read what actually they are trying to communicate. Okay, so it is known as network taps, and the whole packet capture also known as, like, suppose in the previous I have told you that in the network, actually we communicate with each other with the data packets, right? But in full packet capture, what actually happens there, we capture all the data packets in a network, so that we can identify, or we can find that what is happening this time when the crime happens. Okay. Second is network traffic analysis tool. So we will learn that how can we use Wireshark. Wireshark is a popular network analysis tool. Using this tool, actually forensic teams and the blue team, like the SOC, actually use this Wireshark tool very much, because using this Wireshark tool, we can capture the data packets, and we can check the data packets, that what is communicating, like, they are communicating or they are trying to do in our network. Okay. Also BPF filter. So this filter actually used for searching purpose. So we can also monitor network using BPF filter also. So like in the Wireshark, whenever we capture the data packets, we analyze the TCP/IP headers, and the TCP/IP headers with the protocol, like what protocol they are trying to communicate. Suppose if anyone trying to do ARP poisoning. Okay, so suppose if a outsider is trying to do, like, if he trying to do what, that he is ARP poisoning in our network. So using Wireshark tool, we can identify that also, that anyone is having the same MAC address, right? Also, like, examine HTTP traffic and DNS queries. We can visualize data traffic to find anomalies. So what you need to do, like in the Wireshark, we actually monitor the network data packets. So if anyone, if if the network forensic team, or the blue team, like the SOC, if he finds any anomalies in the network, he can eventually identify that easily. Second is log analysis and incident investigation. So what is log analysis? So whenever we do something in our network, okay, or in our PC, everything actually stored in the logs file. Okay, so we need to check the logs, like in everything, like in the system. If I tell that in a particular system or a particular firewall, and if the web server, everywhere we save the logs file. Okay, so that is why we need to identify the event, and we need to identify the suspicious activity. We need to check the system logs, firewall logs, here, or web server logs, because in the logs file we store as much as information about our events. Right? Suppose you are opening Firefox browser at 11 p.m. It also stored in the logs. So if you check the logs file, or if the digital forensic team or any SOC blue team is checking the logs file, it means that he can eventually identify the event, or he can identify the suspicious activity of the hacker also. Also, there is many tools that is already, like, it actually stores every system, particularly logs file, in their centrally managed system, that is Splunk and Elk Stack. Okay, so these are the primarily use softwares which we actually use for storing all the network logs in a centralized way, so that we don't need to visit every system for log checking. Okay. Now, case study: real world network attacks. Scenario description: like a hypothetical data breach at finance institution. And like if I tell you the real world network attacks, like uh, you can see that like in today's scenario there is many data breach in many known organizations, right? So so it like actually like very much, or like in data breach actual, what happens there actual, in some cases we notice that it actually a physical attack, physical hacking attack. Like what is physical hacking attack? It means that they actually tempered the LAN uh, LAN cables. Okay, they tempered the LAN cables and they intercept the data packets, or they modify the data packets by tempering the LAN cables. So it is known as hyper data breach. Also in the findings, we actually get access through a phishing mail. Okay, so it is also a network attack. They send phishing emails in a uh, system, and if anyone click on those phishing mails, it means that the outsider can eventually gain access in their network, like that. Okay. Now, best practice and future trends. So in the best practice, we need to monitor the network, we need to security audit. Also we need to, like, actually what you need to do, we need to penetrate every network in our organization so that it will be more secure. Also, we need to continuously 24/7 monitor our network so that if any anomaly is happening in there, we can eventually track them or we can catch them. Second is security audits. We need to like the pen testing part, which I have just told. We need to audit the network so that it goes as secure as previous, right? Also, we need to define roles, some like response planning. So we need to plan our incident response team. Like we need to make an incident response team because we don't know that what time what incident can happen, right? Suppose a data breach happens, or if anything like that, like suppose if any attacker deleted some valuable data of their database from their databases, what need to do? We need to make a backup plan right there. So that is why we need to make an incident response team also. So we need to stay updated of emerging threats, because we know that in the in the um, present days, we know there is many vulnerabilities which actually threats for us. That is why we need to update it with the emerging threats. And also like we need to use some SOC tools like Splunk, and we need to add machine learning and AI so that we can identify the anomalies more crucially and more efficiently. Okay, that is why we need to use AI/ML so that we can uh, identify the network anomalies, or we can identify the victim in network forensics. Okay, so now I will show you two things. First is how can you check your logs in Windows machine. So first you need to do Windows R. Then here it will open a run. Here you need to type here event viewer, event BWR. Then okay. So it will open event viewer in the Windows logs. You can see there is everything logs, like application logs, security logs, setup logs, system logs. Suppose application logs, administrator time. If you double click on it, it will show all the logs files, like where actually like the date, time, and the event. Everything will show here like that. Okay, you can check it like that. That, and if I back it, so there is some security also, and you got all the information about the like your system. Okay, so there is actually I have installed a system that is actually working here. So here we can find many thing in the logs file, right? Now I will show you a tool called version. So first you need to uh, learn that there is actually I have two machines. First, here is a Ubuntu machine, Linux machine. So in the Kalinas machine, actually in Kalinas machine, we have a workshop tool that is already pre-installed. We don't need to install it here. So I will just show you just basics of workshop, that how can you check it, or you can track it in network. Okay. So here these are the data packets here. Like you can see, it is the timing, source, destination, protocol, and length. So source means here it will show the source IP. Like suppose A sends a data packet to B, so A's IP will be source and B's IP will be destination, like that. And here it will mention the protocols and the length of our data packets. So what you need to do, suppose here this is our Ubuntu machine. If I open this, first I will check the Ubuntu machine IP. So actually using this filter ip.header, ip.header equal to, here you need to mention the IP. Suppose this is our IP 192.168 47.134. Okay. Suppose this is our IP. Okay. So if you I would use ip.header, using this ip.header, you can filter your own IP. Like if you can filter this IP, and it will show, like if this IP sends any data packets, it will show in the dashboard. Okay. Every communication using this IP, it will show. So we don't need to do anything. So here Ubuntu's machine is turned on. Now we need to open terminal, and using IP space A, using this command we can see the IP address here, that is 192.168.47.131. We need to copy this, and here in the version, first what we do here, first I will open a terminal here and I will check my IP address. So 47.138 is my IP address. Now what we do here, we will track my IP address here, ip.header, and then 192.168.47.138. Okay. Here you can see there is no packets here. There is no packets here because I have not done anything in Kalinas, right? So this is our Kalinas IP 192.168.47.138, but I have not done anything. That is why it is showing blank. Now what we need to do, if I ping our Ubuntu's machine IP 47.131. Okay. So here I have sent it 4 ping requests to the server. It's to the 47.131 to the Ubuntu machine, right? So here now you can see there is this packet. Source means uh, our data packet. Okay, our IP, and destination means the destination IP. Destination IP means our Ubuntu machine IP, right? Protocol ICMP. It means that actually what actually happens here, ICMP protocol. Whenever we use ping use ICMP protocol. Here in the ping command, so what actually happens in the ping command, we send the data packet to the machine, and machine sends us a reply packet, so that we can understand that this machine is up, we can communicate with this machine. So you can see, so first we send a ping request and it sends us a reply message to us, right? So destination is our IP, so because they send us a reply, so I have sent it 4 requests here. You can see that 1 2 3 4, and here also it have 8 requests, 8 data packet, 4 requests, 4 reply, right? So that is how we can track iPad just like that. We can check that what is happening there, what he is searching, what he is trying to do. Okay, using Version we can track everything like that. So now today session is here. Also, like in upcoming session, we will learn that how can we identify a network attack using Version. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Bye.